Hey everyone, Mr. Devil here, Kenny Danico, 3-time Stanley Cup champion of the New Jersey Devils, and you're listening to the Uncle Puckers New Jersey Devils podcast with Chris, Dan, Bobby, and Tony, the Uncle Puckers. Let's go Devils!
More music on trendybeats.
Oh man, that wasn't a free one, I guess. I downloaded
That
it.
was a little upbeat for us.
That was it's John Cena's theme. It's the time is now, and so it's it. The time is now. That
like
Dan should unmute his microphone because the time is now to do a podcast. So what's up, Pucker Nation? He's back.
What's up?
It's Chris, Dan, and Bob tonight. Our pre-Thanksgiving, 2 days before Thanksgiving podcast, where we will discuss all shitty things New Jersey Devils. But I'm going to try and keep an optimistic tone for this podcast.
You're not starting out very well.
You couldn't go lower. So.
Yeah, it's not good. But how are you guys doing?
All right. Get into the Thanksgiving frame of mind. How about you, Bob?
Ready for the holiday. Ready for the break. Let's go.
Yeah.
Got a chuckle listening to The Trap and Bill talking about gravy being brown. He's damn right. And Chris, I know you're Italian. Where do you stand on that? Is gravy brown?
Gravy's
Sauce
brown.
red?
Sauce is red.
Okay.
But my entire childhood, it was gravy.
Yeah.
You know,
thought so.
in like all my Sunday gravy, all that stuff. So it's in the old Guineas call it, gravy. When I got into cooking and, learning from a lot of chefs and stuff, it's no. Brown is gravy, red is sauce, and that's it. I don't give a shit where you're from.
That's right.
That's that. Where do you stand on the gravy v sauce, Dan?
We never called it gravy growing up, but, only had a half Italian family. My father wasn't, man of many words, so he wouldn't be commenting on what my mother called it. So she called it sauce. But, I think even my grandmother, who was, Italian, called it sauce. So I can't explain why they didn't do the gravy thing. I'm familiar with that. I wonder if it's a regional, from wherever you came from.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I know on my father's side, they were all from Brooklyn. That's how they all got together there and lived the whole Italian life there. And when they came here, they either consciously or otherwise changed it to sauce, or maybe they were saying it all along. Who knows?
Right.
Lost to history.
What part of Italy is your family from, Dan?
They're Sicilian, my father's side. Yeah. So my grandmother was
Can't
here.
say that without thinking of the Christopher Walken True Romance, Dennis Hopper thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the best scene ever. But yeah, that's I think my grandmother's side was like second generation. My grandfather was like first generation.
Gotcha.
And but then my mom's like from all over, all different kinds of waspy mixed stuff.
So like my dad's side is all from Sicily, and my mother's side is from this small town in I don't know where in Italy, but they did my sister, my third cousin or whatever, did a whole ancestry thing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
we got all the paperwork back and stuff. So apparently my great grandfather, they were all from this town in Italy, or maybe it was my great grandfather. Was the mayor of this town.
Sounds like a great guy.
And supposedly he was
a
pretty
great man.
corrupt.
Oh.
And he
I wouldn't get that from the title.
Yeah.
So great.
And he got a shitload of stole a shitload of money from all the people in the town. He was the mayor of the town for a long time,
Right.
and there's this rumor around the town that
Great embezzler.
great embezzler, that he buried all this money on his property.
Well, it's
somewhere
yours by
out
right. So
in Italy.
you have to go retrieve it.
I should, right?
Yeah, that's
do a little
a family.
treasure hunt?
Yeah, absolutely. That's your family jewels are buried there.
I'll go.
All right.
Just
we'll
in
go.
case you find something.
I'm sure it's owned by some very nice Italian family that will let us go and dig up all their property in hopes to find some long lost treasure that was stolen.
It sounds reasonable.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess all treasure was stolen pretty much, right?
What is ownership? What is it?
I did hear that there was this treasure of like a sunken ship or something that had like something like equivalent to like 10 or 11 billion dollars and now the money today.
Spanish doubloons or something.
Yeah, and some
rich people
shit. Problems like we don't have.
Right.
So somebody from I don't know if it was America or UK or something, they found this ship, and now there's like there's like 4 countries now that are saying, no, it's our money, and this came from, this was Spanish. This was a Spanish ship. And
I think it all
the guy that found it was like, this is my money. Like, I found this shit. Like, there's all these different countries now.
And there's like 4 countries, big national armies and everything. No, you don't own this. That we agree. You get nothing, sir.
You get nothing, we'll give you the credit for finding it.
I'm sure like these things have gone to court before. I have no idea how they get settled. You would think that the treasure seeker, that's who gets it, but you never know. I don't know. You could make an argument that from whatever continent it came from, it could go back there. Like they're trying to do that with certain things that have been in museums for a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but you stole that from wherever, Egypt or whatever it is. And, are you ever going to give it back?
Exactly. There was that family, and I don't know if you guys heard this, maybe like 10 years ago or so, out in California. They were a pretty young family. They were like in their like early mid-30s, and they had this piece of property in Northern California, and they were out walking their property. And one day they were just walking this little trail along their yard, and they saw like this coffee can, like kind of sticking up from the dirt by a tree. So the husband said, "What the fuck is that?" Goes over, digs it up. There were like 30 of them buried, all these cans, and they were filled with Spanish doubloons. And it was like something like $10-11 million that they found on their property. And
I didn't
that was
know
all
the
theirs.
Spanish had coffee cans.
I don't think the Spanish were the ones that buried it.
Oh, it was somebody else. Somebody with access to coffee cans.
Somebody with access. It was Mr. Folgers.
Andy Dufresne.
They kept, Okay, Garrett, there's 2 movies for Garrett we got to give him right there. Right. If he hadn't seen The Shawshank Redemption or True Romance, Garrett needs to watch them, and then he needs to let us know what he thinks of them. Yeah, I would definitely start with True Romance, which I think any human being who has never seen that movie is missing something in their life, and they need to watch it.
But we're not saying these are Scorsese movies, right? He was talking about Scorsese movies last time, wasn't he?
Right. Well, True Romance is not a Scorsese. It's really a Quentin Tarantino movie. I mean, he wrote it, but he didn't direct it.
He didn't direct it. The director, I think, killed himself.
Did he really?
Yeah, I think
he didn't like it?
I don't know. The best unknown thing about that, Balki Bartakamus has a role. Isn't that great?
In True Romance, yeah. And Beverly Hills Cop, which Bobby actually did his line a couple of shows ago.
Oh, no, you got me serious. I'm serious. Get the fuck out of here.
No, I'm serious. He was great. But, True Romance was fantastic. I remember seeing that in the movie theater, and I was completely blown away. It was such a great flick.
My kids love that movie.
It's such a good movie,
Emmy just bought like a used DVD director's cut of it like 2 days ago.
Wow.
Yeah, like they love that movie. That's their favorite.
I was watching Heathers this afternoon for a little bit. It was on. That is a great movie.
It is.
Completely forgot about that. I was actually saying to my wife just recently, I'm like, we should watch that again. And then it was on like today.
Right.
So I was watching a little bit of it. It was before Christian Slater became fat, and I kind of like Christian Slater better now.
He's pretty good. Mr. Robot. I like
Mr. Robot. He was good.
That's the last thing I can remember seeing him in.
He does a lot of voice work now. Like Archer, he does voice work, and I did all the voice work.
Archer.
Yeah, he played a CIA character called Slater. That was his name.
So I totally missed that arc. I've seen random Archers. I like them, but I haven't seen them all.
Yeah, they're it's one of those shows I can watch in small increments. After a while, it just gets annoying, and then I got to stop for a couple of months, and I go back to it. Right. But he also did the voice for the father in Inside Job, which is on Netflix, which is another fantastic show. It's an animated show, but it is so friggin' good. I told you about that, Dan, a while ago. Bobby, if you haven't watched Inside Job,
nope,
it's hysterical. It is a fantastic show. It's like take all the deep state crazy right-wing crazy bullshit about lizard people and all this stuff, right? All as crazy as you can get. Well, it's all real, and these people work for the company that controls it all. Oh my! So season 1's better than season 2, but it's really good.
Nice.
I love it. I'm gonna check it out.
So how about we talk a little hockey, boys?
Sure. Yeah. What's going on?
Well, I guess it's some good news. I mean, we can't just be negative. I mean, Nico Hischier should be back, hopefully tomorrow night against the Red Wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's huge. No Timo again. He's going to be out for this road trip, so he won't be playing at least tomorrow. I'm guessing he'll be out for a while. But I do have something to say about this team right now. And it's not a hot take or whatever, but I will say this. The New Jersey Devils season starts tomorrow. They have got to put away everything that's happened up to this point. The injuries, the bad defensive play, the atrocious goaltending, all that stuff has got to be put aside. Your season starts tomorrow against Detroit. If you have Nico back and then you have Jack back, like Jack, when he was on this team before the injury, they were covering up for a lot of their bad play just by offensive scoring.
Yeah.
Well, we missed that, of course, when Jack wasn't there, and we saw what happened. But they've got to clean it all up, and I know they know that. And this comes down to everybody on the bench and everybody that's skating. They have got to clean this up. Their season starts tomorrow, and they got to get right, because when I go to the standings and I see us at 6th place in the Metropolitan Division, it makes my heart hurt. It makes me sad.
Oh,
They've got to do something.
I hear you, man.
66 games left.
I just can't believe it. I can't believe that it's been this rough for them. I mean, injuries explain a lot. If you just told me ahead of time, hey, listen, they're going to have this many injuries in, I would be like, uh-oh. I don't think we're going to be leading the conference, the Metro either. But as low as we are right now, I mean, it does speak to how tough our division is. You know, we got some good teams in there, and they're playing well. But it's also, hugely disappointing. Just I would have thought we would have been much better shape than this, even with the injuries we have.
Yeah, for sure. You think he's sustained most of them. But I think to Chris's point, I mean, at this point, it doesn't take much to take off. We've got a favorable schedule. Nobody's saying we got to go ahead and rip off 10 straight in a row, but you know the game, right? 3 out of 4 wins, things like that. 5 out of 6 points, a little more consistency. It definitely could be there. And the good news is coming back slowly, right? Jack came back, Nico came back. You can look at some of the games, even though our goaltending's been atrocious at times, and maybe see a pattern that's getting a little better.
Right.
Defense, at least a little better. Like, not great yet. We still got a long way to go, but it's not like they're still going down to me.
Right.
They're generally playing a little better.
Yeah, that's true. They were definitely playing worse defensively. They have been getting it together better than before. I agree. But do you think the injuries that this team has are completely random? Because sometimes, we talk about the injury bug. It's just a matter of luck. And there definitely is that element in general. But I'm just wondering if there's anything about the way this team's playing, the style of play, the kind of personnel, or maybe even the way other teams are trying to play us right now. Are we getting more hits? Are we getting more blindside hits because we're not as conscious for that as we should be? You know what I mean? Like, is there anything going on with this injury bug that's more than just bad luck?
Well, I mean, I don't have numbers to back up what I'm going to say, so it's just strictly off the eye test. But we're not a tough team. We're soft, and we've said this before. They have a toughness problem, and I think that teams know that. Tony has been big on this since last season, and I think he's 100% correct on it. That this got people know now, teams know now that there's not going to be any retaliation. What you go after, Hischier, and you knock him out of 8 games, 10 games, however many games he missed, and what's the worst that you're going to suffer? A 2-game suspension for Connor Clifton. That's it. Palat dropped the gloves, but it wasn't like he got his ass beat. It wasn't much of a retaliation. These guys are getting hit left and right. I mean, you watch that Ranger game. I mean, that was embarrassing at times. There was nobody to stand up, and it comes down to just having, I know that one guy doesn't make a team tough, but we don't even have one guy that you got to watch out for. Like we said, you watch.
I hear you. I wonder how much you can really be like that kind of soldier enforcer in game anymore. You know what I was thinking the other day is that maybe, I know it sounds crazy, that the lack of team defense is what's getting these guys hurt. And by that I mean, like, okay, let's say I'm playing the Devils. What's the game plan on the Devils? Hit them hard. You might knock one or two out during the game. Hit them hard. Hitting's always a good strategy. Now, what would make you think twice about that? a killer
Scott
power play.
Stevens on the bench.
Well, maybe, but also a killer power play that's going to put you down. But you know what? We had a killer power play. So why doesn't that work? You know why? The Devils are going to give you scoring chances, great scoring chances, and you just got to capitalize and hit them hard. Because, in other words, if you were playing a Devils team that is not going to give you a lot of chances, do you want to go to the box with them? No. You're going to be less likely to throw those kind of hits because it's a tighter game. If you can get something out of hitting and you're not going to face not only the repercussion of a tough guy or Scott Stevens, but of a team that is only going to give you a few chances, you're going to give them a chance to negate those chances with a power play. You're going to think twice about it.
Well,
So
you
I'm
look
kind
at
of pinning on
last.
the defense.
I think that's on the nose. You look at last season, right, and we weren't giving up these unbelievably great scoring chances to the opposition, and we were winning games and winning big because we didn't give them a ton of opportunities. Well, this year if I'm a team playing the Devils, I say, look, they're going to come at you fast. Hold on tight for the first 10, 15 minutes. Let's just weather the storm. They're going to make their mistakes. And when they do, we capitalize because it's not just one or two mistakes. They're going to give you 6 or 7 high scoring chances, like you said, Dan, and you're just going to pick it. And the good teams aren't going to miss. And, it happened with the Rangers, happened with Winnipeg, All it takes is just wait us out. In the third period or whatever, we're going to make the mistakes and just capitalize on it. And that, to me, is a coaching issue. That to me is also a personnel issue. Getting rid of Severson and Graves, I did not think was going to be that big of a deal. I thought that we would be able to get through that. Knew it would be a little bit hard in the beginning. I figured 10, maybe 12 games. Ball, Hughes, they might have to work it out. But we've said ad nauseum, those two dudes aren't the problem. Like that only works if Marino and Hamilton and Siegenthaler are playing, at the level that we know they can play
Get a
at.
replacement for Smith.
And they haven't. And then we have Brendan Smith, who for whatever reason, can't get his way out of this lineup. Like it doesn't matter how bad you're playing, you're in. I do think that maybe with Hughes and Heischer back, at least Heischer, I think, should definitely cut back a lot of those, glaring opportunities that we're giving to other teams. He's extremely good defensively. Right. Colin Miller back there, maybe he can hold down the fort a little bit better than
what
Smith.
I've seen from Miller so far.
So have I. I also want to just get back to 12-6. I don't like this 11-7 that we're doing. I'm not a fan of that. I want to get back to just having our normal lines. I know it's because of injury. But again, why though? Why did we have to have Miller and Smith in the lineup? Why couldn't we have had Max Woman in and just Miller and sit Smith? I don't understand some of these things that.
I don't know. I do think the coaching is seeing more in Smith than we're seeing. Maybe it's, his veteran status, and that's what's holding them up. I don't know. At this point in the season, I'm willing to say, okay, maybe they see something that I don't understand yet. But I honestly feel like a lot of Devils fans are going, why is Smith, basically not just getting out of the rotation for a game or two and see what happens?
There's a difference when a lot of the things we talk about, and you can go to podcasts, you can go to the radio, you can go to just social media in general. A lot of the topics we'll talk about, there's a pretty good split. Of 50-50. Or in some cases, there's like always, the radical on each side and then a contingent that's kind of in the middle. This is one where, like, to a man, like everybody, fans, analysts, maybe not the professional analysts, they're not saying as much, but the Smith thing, like, why? Like, everybody's saying it. Just pull him out, let him go. Now, there's good news. It looks like, at least in practice, on the lineup card, he was kind of the 7th defenseman.
Good.
And we had the full 12 going. Because it just, when it's that many people noticing it, now it's real. It's not just our opinion, Smith sucks. No, it's like the whole world is saying, what is he doing right now?
At least for a game or two,
Yeah, but we used to make jokes last season, when Brendan Smith was in the lineup. Hey, all right, what's the over-under for his penalties tonight? 2 or 3, we'd always, he was known for this. It's not like, Marino, where it's like, holy shit, what happened to this dude? Or even Siegenthaler, like, dude, you're not playing up. Like, Smith is playing the same way he's always played. Like, I just, you know what you're going to get. I don't understand it.
But you're right. That's not what's actually hurting our defense most. It's the guys we counted on to be good.
And right now, we've always said about Tom Fitzgerald, what a great job he's done on this team and everything like that. Yeah, he's put all the pieces in place, and I'm super happy, and I love what he's done, except one move. I have to say, you gave Lindy Ruff an extension, and I'm like a little bit, why? Why did you do that? So far, you have given Lindy Ruff a fucking Ferrari to drive. And I understand that, throughout the course of the year, there's been a few flat tires here and there. You haven't been able to get this car up to speed.
It's a good analogy. Ferraris are always breaking down.
But even for what you have, dude, you have to be able to drive this car. You have to be able to get these guys buying into your system, playing the way, because they're all capable. So what is missing? That's what I don't understand. I don't want to put all the blame on Lindy Ruff because he's not the one putting the skates on and going out there every fucking game. What?
Yeah, is he more like Mr. Magoo in this car?
He might be. He might be Mr. Magoo in a fucking Ferrari.
Yeah.
I just don't understand, the 180. We've been joking the whole year, starting last year, about his ability to, mix it up at the drop of a hat. And then with those defensive pairs, it took him, 16 games to even move Smith. To put him with somebody else, and now just try it.
Now we played the 2 games, right? I think was it now the Winnipeg game? Did we have the defensive pairings mixed up then, or was it basically the same? He didn't mix them up until the Pittsburgh game, right? No, I think it was.
No, it was the Winnipeg.
All right, so that didn't look so good because we ended up losing that game. But then you saw those new pairings really kind of taking form on that game against the Penguins last week. Yeah. I thought we played a great game. We played a really good Devil-style game. And, the Rangers, we knew it was going to be tough. But, again, that's a game I feel like we should have won that game. We had so many opportunities.
The good takeaway, and it's so disappointing to lose to the Rangers. Don't forget, the Devils did play a pretty damn good game. They didn't finish it off.
Right.
And that is disturbing. It's a problem. You don't want to just be like, well, they played pretty damn good. It just, let off the gas at the 5-minute mark or whatever. That's not okay, but it's way better than just coming out flat and just never being in the game like we were a few games ago, So there is that. I do think that things really should get better, and we're right to be a little impatient with it because, like you said, this is a Ferrari that's looks like it's under the control of Mr. Magoo right now. But
there really has been
good things are coming.
There's been no consistency in any way at the start of the season, with the exception of the defensive pairing staying the same for so long. I mean, people are constantly out of position, a lot of injuries. Whether they're using players in the right roles, we can argue the whole debate and all this. When was the right time?
The schedule's been weird, right?
The schedule's been weird. There is a lot of things. It's like quicksand.
Big long gaps. And we got a million excuses why it makes sense that they're not doing their best right now, but I think you said it well. We're pretty much out of that time where any of that matters anymore. The season has to start now. If it doesn't start now, it's going to be starting without us. Put it that way. There won't be any time to make the playoffs. We'll be looking at that unenviable position of trying to maybe, if we're lucky, have the stars align for a wild card spot. That's stresses. That's really no good. I don't care if we win the President's Trophy, but we should be in the playoff hunt. Pretty well solidified, I would say. I would have thought this team would have been in by January, February. But
how many points do you think you need to make the playoffs?
Boy, I don't know.
What do you think?
What was it last year?
I gotta say it's 95 at least, isn't it?
Yeah, that's probably.
Especially now because the teams around us are better. So I think it's
so we need 80 more points. So we have 66 games left to get 80 points.
No reason not to.
There really
about
is
a 3 out of 4 clip.
Right.
Okay, because it's around roughly 120 points up for grabs if you got 60 games, right?
Yes.
And if you're going to win 80 out of 120, that would be about you got to win 3 out of 4 from here on out.
Yeah, this is not easy. No, it's not going to be easy.
It's a pretty good clip to give yourself enough points to feel confident that you're in.
And if they go another 2 weeks of this, 1 win a week bullshit that they're doing, they are going to be out of it. They're not going to be able to get into the
certainly
playoffs.
Can't do
Them
that.
and Edmonton will be sitting home in April.
What a story that would be. But yeah, what changes that quickly? A 5-game winning streak, a 6-game winning streak. And then the math completely flips. And now you're looking at, you still always want to get somewhere around that 3 out of 4 for sure. But then you're also mixing in an overtime loss, those points here and there. You get 7 or 8 of those throughout a year too. That adds to your bottom line. So, I mean, I'm still very confident they're going to be able to pull it together. Like I said, I don't ever expect a 13-game winning streak, but I do expect to start seeing streaks of 3 and 5 and that kind of thing at a time.
Well, this week you have 3 very winnable games. I'm not saying easy. I'm just saying with the Devils playing the way that they play, they have, they should beat the Red Wings tomorrow. They should beat Columbus on Friday, and they should beat Buffalo on Saturday. They've got to get it together, and that's one surefire way. You crack those 3 off in a row, and then next week your 3 games that you have are the Islanders, the Flyers, and the Sharks. Okay, so. Right. There's 2 divisional games that are 4-point swings. You have to win them.
The problem is we're looking at that under the lens of the team that was built that we always knew it was going to be. When you actually look at where some of those teams that are winnable, but it won't be easy from points, they're tied with us or above us. I mean, even I hate to say it, but look at the Flyers. Yeah, I looked at that and saw an automatic win, and now I'm like, well, they're actually playing pretty damn well.
They're at a better winning clip over the last few games than us.
Yeah.
How many games, though, have the Devils lost where the team on the ice, and I'm going to have to explain this a little bit because I know it's not going to sound right. So the winning team were actually the better team on the ice. Now, I know they were because they won. But
gotcha.
When you can look at, holy shit, look at all the mistakes the Devils made. Look at how out of position they were. Look how badly they did this or they did that. That gave the team the opportunity. It's not like we're going up against better teams.
I don't even think we faced a goaltender who was so hot that he couldn't be beat this year.
No.
That was not really the problem. We're scoring goals. It's a team defense problem. So
this is
none of our opponents have overwhelmed us. It's like, wow, we are not ready for these guys.
Something fundamental, between the years, something between the message from Lindy Ruff and his staff to these players is not clicking. And Tom Fitzgerald, I think he definitely needs to make a move on defense. And I do think that he might seriously be thinking about making a move for a goaltender if there is even somebody around. Because I just,
who's out there?
I don't know.
Even on the horizon, it's hard to see. Now, about this time of the year, you usually don't know what the big names are going to be come draft deadline time, but nobody is talking about any goaltenders that I think are a good fit for this team or a real upgrade. That's what
I would have maybe said.
That might not be coming.
I would have maybe said John Gibson out in Anaheim, but you know what? Anaheim's actually playing pretty good right now, so I don't think they're going to be looking to dump him. I think it's not somebody within our own system right now that can replace Schmid. It's going to be Schmid and Vanacek, and it's not that I don't think Schmid has the chops to do it, but it's all down to the team has to play better in front of him, and he's got to make a big save. And Vanacek has been able to do that. Neither one of these guys are lights out goaltenders, so we're going to have our hands full throughout the rest of the season. But it comes down to the team defense and our puck possession, and just not making these stupid freaking mistakes. It's like watching this team. I feel like it's 2021 or 22 sometimes, or 21 sometimes.
Yeah, I don't think there's any savior coming. I mean, even if there were a defensive trade, I think it'd be a minor shore up. I think that it's within that room now, and I don't see anybody saving them. And they really shouldn't have to.
That's a good
put
point.
The team back together, they shouldn't have to. So it's a great point. Where's the message breaking down? Still the same head coach as last year. So where's it breaking down? Is it our assistant coach? I can't place it. I'm really so lost this year at some of their performance. So,
is it also the fact that without Nico and Jack in that lineup, missing all those games together, could it have been just that there was nobody there to kind of take the reins? And I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know.
I don't think we'll ever know, but I have a hard time believing that's a great answer. Nico is, definitely he's the captain. He's a huge part of this team. But we have other people there, and I think some of them have shown the capacity to lead, and at times we're playing well. but I don't think it's just they're looking for that one guy. Eric Halla, Palat, like they had leadership moments that were there for the taking.
Right.
It's just that when you don't win, it's hard to say that, the leadership was fine, but I don't see where it was lacking, to be quite honest.
And I do say, and I've said this a million times, and I'll keep saying it, like, if these guys do run off a 10-game win streak, I would not be shocked. Like, they have all the pieces in place. Like, if they go out tomorrow night and just rout Detroit and then rout Columbus and, win against Buffalo or whatever, like, this would not shock me. It'd be like, okay, finally, we're there. But, there's just something missing. And, I don't think we lost enough players to really – other than – really Timo being on this team now full bore all season, and the addition of Tyler Toffoli, which has not hurt this team, has just been a godsend. Like, what real big changes? The two defensemen? Like, okay, we lost two defensemen. We also have two studs up there now that should be doing the job. Like, where is this disconnect?
Do you think the league's calling? And I have zero data for this too, but I was just wondering if it was just a product of them not winning that makes me see this versus the reality of the situation. But do you think the league's not calling as many interference, clutch and grab type calls as last year? Are they kind of pendulum swinging back the other way a little bit? Or maybe it's just, I don't even know what the data shows with that. There probably is an answer if there's more or less.
I haven't really noticed it.
Yeah. It seems like it's pretty consistent the way it's been called from last year to this year, in your opinion.
I think so as of right now. But we're
still getting
pay
those
too much
wide
attention
open
to it.
sections. Like the game with the Rangers, it was pretty wide open at times.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Whatever's got to get done, I just hope, and I hope Lindy Ruff's the guy to do it, because, there's nothing worse than having a coaching change midway through your season, which I don't think Tom Fitzgerald would do unless this team continues to just shit the bed and drop in the standings. Then you have to. With the moves he made, the money that's been spent, the contracts that are out there, the expectations that have been put on this team, you have to get rid of the coach if things don't turn around.
I know, but when you start thinking about that, I think you're right. But you know what I find hard to do? Like, project the most likely scenario that would get him canned. Like, if you were Fitzgerald, when do you say, I have to? How many losses? Where do we have to be in the standings? Is it when we're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs?
I don't think any of those things.
Long, right?
I don't think any of those things are what makes him pull the trigger. I think it's internal. I think it's things he sees in the locker room. I think it's things he sees with his players and how they're, has he lost the locker room? And I don't think he has. But I think it comes to a time where this team keeps slipping, and maybe they don't have to be on the bottom, and maybe they don't have to be completely out of the playoffs for this to happen. But if Tom Fitzgerald just feels or hears from his players and guys like Jack and guys like Nico and stuff that, guys like Bratt, like, this isn't the guy for the job, or we're not, we feel like we should be doing this and that, and he's got us doing this and this. That's when you kind of have issues where I think Tom Fitzgerald would step in and say, this team more than anything right now needs a change at the top. And then he would pull the trigger. I think that's what it would be, because I don't think he would
very
wait.
Realistic. That it's not going to be really dictated by the standings or the points. It's going to be more on getting some real evidence of what we fear if things don't go well, which is
right.
Ruff losing the grip on the team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the likely way to look at it, but there's a real negative scenario too, where, if they literally go on a 6-game losing streak very recently. You never know, because you can literally lose the season in these next couple of weeks.
Well, I think this week is huge. Coming off a loss against the Rangers, and if they lose the next 3, let's just say, and you're on a 4-game losing streak, you have 2 divisional games coming up next week. That the mood in that locker room and everything, especially if Nico's back and Jack's back and these losses keep on compounding, then yeah, maybe. There's sometimes the firing of the coach, especially in hockey, is like pulling your goaltender, right. After a shitty start in the first period. It's to just light a fire on their team. Reset. Sometimes the coach just has to be that sacrificial lamb, and you got to just say, they need a new voice in that locker room, because this one is just falling on deaf ears.
It might not work, but it's like just doing the ultimate reset. When you feel like you got nothing else to lose and there's no future with this coach, And I guess, another reality is who's out there. Who can he get to replace them? Who's in
Like
our organization
Babcock.
that's ready to step up? I can't imagine turning this team over to a guy like Sergey Brylin already.
No,
He's
Mike
not there
Babcock.
yet.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the other thing. Like
Tom
a lot of
Fitzgerald.
times,
Maybe he comes down. Maybe he
You think
pulls
that's
a
what he
Lou
does?
Lamoriello.
Right.
he comes over and well, it's possible.
I don't know. Maybe you bring Kevin Dineen up from Albany, or I don't know. But I will say, kind of to put a pin on this one, or just to wrap this whole Lindy thing up. Every time I'm almost out on Lindy, everything turns around.
That's been the most consistent thing about him. Just about when you're going, I don't know what he's doing. Does he know what he's doing? Oh, he can't know what he's doing. The next game, you're like, yeah, I think he knew what he was doing. So I still kind of will wait before I'm definitely not chanting fire Lindy. That's for sure. I'm just, it makes you think. It makes you think, where are we going right now?
I'm at fire Lindy if this week goes terrible, and then I will be calling for his head. So,
especially if the circumstances are like a visibly confused and listless team, I might join you with that. I don't know. If it's like more injuries and crazy losses, I'm not like chomping at the bit, but I get it. It's getting urgent.
So we talked before about plus minus, and it's one barometer. It's not everything. It doesn't tell the entire story, but it does tell a story, right? We've agreed on that. And I'm just glancing at it again right now. And what's rather shocking still is that some of our lead point getters, how can they be in the negative? They're in, like Tyler Toffoli with 9 goals, 7 assists is a -8. It's almost like you're giving up as much as you're getting. And then Timo Meier is a -12. Dougie Hamilton with 14 points is a -8. So some of our offensive stars that are really capable of putting up numbers, and I'm not even getting into the guys that have underperformed that we flat out know. We know Mercer only has a couple points and he's a -6. I'm talking about the guys that are legitimately pushing the offense, have on the other side of it shit the bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those minuses are too big to say, that was a line change or whatever.
If somebody asked me for one problem with this Devil team, the most important problem in one phrase, I would say it's team defense. And a lot of people hear that and they go, the defense has been bad. We got Brendan Smith, we got Maria. No, I mean the team defense, and it's absolutely our scorers as well. There's a very few that have a favorable plus minus right now. Absolutely.
And the injuries do have a ton to do with that. And I think when Nico comes back, we're going to see a big shift in that. Not necessarily all from Nico, but you have Michael McLeod, who's one of our best defensive forwards, playing on the first line center. Like, that's not a place for your best defensive forward. That's a place where he needs to try and score goals. That's his position now. So you're losing everything that he brings on the defensive side. And that whole line and that bottom six is losing things because we're constantly taking guys that belong in that bottom six and we're pushing them up to the top six because we don't have anybody to play those positions because of the injuries. So I do think if this skid continues after everybody is healthy, then there's a big problem. I'm willing to say wait till Nico comes back. Wait till McLeod gets put back onto that fourth line. And Hala is centering that third line. Jack and Nico are centering the top two. Let's see how this does.
It's going to be completely different. And just again, glancing and looking in general, I spotted Dougie Hamilton, but in general, our defense is somewhere around like collectively like a -2, -3.
Right.
Our offense collectively is like a -6, -7. I mean, I didn't add it up and divide it, but it's from the eye test. So even though our defensemen haven't played great, it's not just the defensemen. It's definitely the team.
No, guys aren't getting
no doubt about it.
They're not covering for a pinching defenseman. Right. They're making really bad turnovers. They're not getting the puck out of the defensive end when they have to. It's constant poor play after poor play.
I think faceoffs have taken a turn too. We were a very good faceoff team, not so much anymore, to the point where we're pretty much giving up good scoring chances off some of our faceoffs. One of the goals that
the Ranger goal,
I mean, I was kind of surprised on that play. Like, this team was doing a lot better on faceoffs last year. So that's an area that needs to improve even beyond some of the defensive mistakes.
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. They have got to go into Detroit hungry, and they got to just whoop them. Just fucking whoop them. Don't stop. And, I do want to switch gears real quick because, Bob, you said before in general, and you said it twice, in general. I'm going to say in Sarge, okay? Because Mr. Sergey Breland, the Sarge,
Nice.
on January 20th, number 18 will go to the rafters as the Devils will retire Sergey Breland's number, and he will finally be enshrined into the New Jersey Devil Ring of Honor. Sarge will be up there. It's about time that all 5 of those dudes are up there together.
Yep.
All 3 cups. Yep. That is more than overdue. Guy deserves it. That's so awesome.
No, I got some career stats from Sergey Breland. He played 765 games, all, by the way, with New Jersey. He had 129 goals, 179 assists for 308 points. He was a plus 49 in his career.
That's impressive.
Yeah. 273 penalty minutes, 1,016 shots. He has 14 game-winning goals and a Corsi rating of almost 50%, which meant about 50% of the time that Sergey Breland was on the ice, they controlled play. 3 Stanley Cups. His best offensive year was 2000-2001. He played 75 games. He had 23 goals, 29 assists for 52 points. And in the playoffs, he played 109 playoff games with the Devils, 15 goals, 19 assists, 34 points, plus 2, 3 power play goals, 3 game-winning goals, and 32 penalty minutes. So, big shout-out for Sergey Breland. Congratulations, Sergey.
3 game-winning goals.
The man deserves it.
Devils hockey. People were talking about Lou Lamoriello's team.
Wow, that's still going, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's well deserved. It really is. But what's a Lou Lamoriello New Jersey Devil? The prototypical player is Sergey Breland. Nobody did it better than him. Nope. He was so responsible, so clutch when you needed him. There were other types of players on the team, but nobody embodied Devils hockey more than him.
Thinking about that Corsi rating too, you've always wanted to drive play in hockey. There's no secret. You want to do that for 100 years. But it's really become kind of a trend and kind of a motivating point in the last few decades where it's like talked about as a game plan. To know that he was just doing that on those teams in his role is quite impressive.
And for all his years with New Jersey, and we've watched so many of his games, he could play in the top 6, he could play in the bottom 6, he could play on the wing, he could take face-offs, he penalty kill, he'll power play.
And he didn't hurt you.
Whatever you
just
needed
that he
him
could play
to
there,
do,
he didn't hurt you. Yeah.
He was absolutely the Devils' unsung hero of all 3 Stanley Cups, and it's very nice to know. Now, does that mean Palat has to change his number, or is he grandfathered in?
I don't know. I don't know how that's going to work.
I guess Palat will be the last New Jersey Devil to wear it, right?
He'd probably give it up.
Yeah. You think he'd give it up?
I think it's the right thing to do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay.
For sure. You're coming into an organization.
I think
did he not have 18 last year and he just put it on this year, or is that somebody else I'm thinking of?
No, he had 18 last year. When he came over, he was...
took it from,
I don't know. I mean, he didn't know the guy was going to be retired. He's going to be retired.
Yeah, Mercer changed his number 4.
That's what it was. Okay.
Mercer changed his number to 91.
Look at it this way. If we got another player, he can't wear 18, and he'll be the last player to wear 18 on the Devils, a plot, but he'll also be the only player who can't have his number retired as 18.
Right.
That's right. If Palat plays, the next 6 years for New Jersey and wins 6 cups and has 4 Conn Smythes and all that, he'll never ever have his jersey number retired.
That's funny.
I got to choose a different number now as I'm winning these cups.
I wouldn't look down on him for not. I just think if it were me, it's an easy decision. Just for I'll be 81 or whatever. I don't care. I know you get tied to your number for sure,
right?
But this is a very different situation. So, but
I still don't understand why the Rangers have 2 number 9s retired. I think I mentioned that. I was in the Garden for a concert, and I'm looking up. They got number 9 was Graves, and I forget the other dude. And
Adam Graves.
How did that happen? I don't understand it. Yeah,
I want to find out.
They just forgot. They forgot about the first one.
They forgot about
the first one. We have one hanging up there.
It's going up and like, oh,
we made a mistake. I didn't mean to get number 9.
That's messed up.
Yeah, they retired his number, but they didn't really like the guy, so they're like, "Fuck you, we're still going to hand out your number."
Yeah. They actually have 9 and 11 retired twice.
Yeah, so why did Messier wear 11 if there was another 11?
Because he's Messier.
But it doesn't make sense. You either retire a number or you don't.
I think this says, I don't know if this is true, that they retired 9 and 11 after 9/11, and then they again when Adam Graves and Messier's numbers were already retired, but
Sure.
then after 9/11 they retired them again, like kind of like as a, I don't know if this is true. This says the Rangers don't understand how to retire a jersey. No, it was Bathgate and Graves are number 9.
Right, Bathgate.
So Graves, it says here, Graves number 9 was retired. Everyone knew Graves number 9. And Leach is number 2, Messier number 11, Richter 35 were going to be retired. They were the heart and soul of the organization for a decade. Blah, blah, blah. When Graves was retired, it would have seemed disrespectful to not also honor the retirement for Bathgate number 9. I don't know what they're talking about here.
Okay, so
that's some stupid Reddit.
Bathgate wasn't retired until Graves retired, and then they decided, let's retire both numbers. Is that what they're saying?
I think so.
They really don't understand how to retire numbers.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty stupid.
Then it says here the Rangers' other number 11 gets his day of honor. So I guess, Vic Hadfield, who was a famous number 11 for the Rangers, he scored 50 goals in a season. He was the first Ranger to score 50 goals in a season. And then Messier's number 11 was retired in 2006, 2 years after his final NHL game. And then Hadfield became the 10th Ranger player to have his number honored. So, they both had number 11s. They didn't retire Hadfield until much, much later. So they're right. They don't know, like you just said, they don't know how to retire numbers. You don't wait 30 years to retire a number.
Seriously. That's pretty incredible. At no point did I imagine they retired the earlier 11 after the later 11 or 9 or whatever. That's crazy.
I hate it. I hate them, and I hate that they're fucking first in the division and a really good hockey team right now. I mean, they really are. It drives me crazy.
I'm not too worried. If we don't do what we're supposed to do, then we don't even deserve a good matchup with them. But I still believe our team is far superior. They just got to get off the mat and do what they are supposed to be doing. I will say that the Rangers have really done well under Laviolette, and he's got the buying in, and I love it. It looked good. It's good hockey. You got to appreciate that.
And it's going to be tough hockey to beat in the playoffs.
Yeah, but you know what? I think we can do it. We just have to get on our thing, and they just, no matter how hard they play, they won't be able to stand with us if our team could play our game. He's had enough.
Bobby's gone. Oh, bye, Bob. I agree with you. I do think the Devils are better, but they got to get their shit together. No way about it. They got to get their shit together. But one thing that you can get your shit together by is by downloading the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Okay.
So I think, let's see. I was looking at some lines earlier today on a couple of games.
Doing some lines.
So there were 2 games that I liked for tomorrow. Let's see. What was it?
Devils?
Detroit actually is, we are favored tomorrow by a goal and a half. I do like Pittsburgh getting a goal and a half over the Rangers tomorrow. I like that one. Pittsburgh's playing good. I'll give them a goal and a half and put a few bucks on and see how that goes. Rangers just got spanked by, Dallas last night. So that was good to see. But, or if your football betting is your thing, you got plenty of games this week. We got 3 games on Thanksgiving. We have 1 game on Friday. We have all our Saturday slate. And then Monday night, we have Vikings, Bears. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
But
is that a lock, Vikings?
No, definitely not a lock, but we'll see. I like the way the Vikings have been playing. I do think they kind of got fucked on Sunday night. They lost in Denver. Alexander Madison had a really bad fumble. Refs missed a couple of really big penalties, but I'm not going to blame it on the refs. Vikings should have finished the game, and they didn't. They lost by a point, and that's what happens. But you don't have to lose.
Nope.
All you have to do is download the app now and use code THPN. New customers can get $150 instantly in bonus bets. Dan, did you hear what I said?
Good.
150.
Did you say 150?
I said it. $150 in bonus bets. And all you have to do is bet $5 on hockey. And that's code THPN on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. The crown is yours. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See dknj.com/hockey for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. Copyright NHL 2023. All rights reserved.
Nice.
Bobby's
That's so many
back.
words. Hi, Bobby. You just missed the best commercial ever. How about
can you do it
another
again?
one? We'll do it worse this time. You guys know that my war against Christmas and the holidays in general has been a frustrated war, to say the least. But I think this year I might just win. And I'm winning by taking advantage of Black Friday now. I don't have to wait till Friday. Our good friends at Raycon, inventors of the 32-hour battery life everyday earbuds, which deliver high quality, thoughtful features and a perfect in-ear fit. And I mean perfect. They have Black Friday every day this month. You go there right now. Go to raycon.com/THPN and you'll get 20 to 50% off site-wide. That's by raycon.com/THPN. You know, while you're there, why not stop and say, maybe buy something that charges all your numerous devices? They have a Magic 180 cable. It's magic. It allows you to charge iOS, micro USB, Type-C devices faster. 100-watt power delivery, maybe 8 times faster than what you're used to. Your weak-ass charger. Get this one. Instead, if you don't feel like a charger, if you're all charged up, try a faucet filter. Yes, a faucet filter. Didn't expect that one, did you?
Not at all.
Tap water has chlorine and heavy metals in it. You have to get those things out. You cannot be drinking them. It's not good for you. Use their faucet filter. It's an ultra filter. It's a must-have for ensuring the water you use to wash your face, brush your teeth is actually clean. So to get everyone into the holiday shopping spirit a bit early, Raycon is currently offering 20 to 50% off everything on their site. 20% off everything on their site, 50% off select products. So trust me, you do not want to miss out. Go right now to raycon.com/THPN. Tell them the Pucker sent you.
Go now. Well, actually, wait until you're done with listening to our show.
Then
go.
Absolutely.
Then go.
Get all that stuff. Make your holiday bright.
Bravo.
Yes.
Man, what are we going to do when it's actual Black Friday?
Well, do all the Raycon sales go away on Saturday, or does it keep on going?
You know,
It
these
said the
guys
month
won't
of
be
November.
surprised if,
Okay.
They're going to keep surprising us with bigger
I think they're going to
better.
come out with a fourth product, some
What
kind
do
of
you
fertilizer.
think they could
I think.
possibly? Yeah, like is it going to be a fertilizer? Raycon now has new vinyl siding for your house. This Raycon vinyl siding goes great
gonna
with
be
your
something
everyday
unexpected.
earbuds.
I don't know what it is.
And your
It's
180.
definitely going to be unexpected.
Yes, I know. Personal spaceships from Raycon.
Wow. I would get in that thing. Sure.
I totally would.
Why not?
As
Yeah,
long as I
definitely.
had a place to plug my 180 jack in to charge
And
my
36
everyday
hour
earbuds.
charge.
That's
Can't
right.
beat
My
that
rocket.
shit. Can't beat that. So,
That's right.
do you think the New Jersey Devil players wear their Raycon earbuds, or do you think they just bet on DraftKings all the time?
I think they need to wear their Raycons so they can be in good communication with each other.
Maybe that's where Lindy Ruff's message is being lost. Maybe they just have their
Not
earbuds
Raycon's
in all the
fault.
time, and they're not hearing them.
They're such a
think
perfect
that's what's
fit. They
going
don't hear any outside noise.
It's like they don't forget they're even in their ears.
Coach cancellation.
The coach cancellation function. I love it. I do want to bring up, Dan, you turned me on to Frightened Rabbit. I really dig them. They're a fucking good band.
From Scotland. I saw them opening up for The Cure this summer. And
I thought the singer killed himself.
I saw former members of Frightened Rabbit open up.
Okay.
And they have a band called The Twilight Sad. And, that band was okay. But one of the better songs they did was a cover of Frightened Rabbit. So I got turned on to them that way, and I thought it was pretty cool. It was kind of interesting band, you know.
Yeah, I was doing a little research. Oh fuck! I guess I'm not seeing these guys. The lead singer's dead.
No, yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Have you ever listened to them, Bob?
No, I never heard of them.
Check out Frightened
look it up.
Rabbit.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of them either till the summer, and yeah, kind of cool. Yeah, something different.
What do you listen to now, Bob? Like, what's in your playlist?
I still listen to a lot of heavy stuff when I'm at the gym. Like, I have Metallica. Everything Metallica is still always playing. I'm still, I discovered there was a couple of new Toad albums that I hadn't got. I picked them up.
Are they good?
I listen to that. Yeah.
Are they still making music? Because
I almost went. They had a show just like 40 minutes away. Like
Did
2
you
weeks
go?
ago. I almost made it. I think I did a podcast instead because I got priorities.
Absolutely.
One of my kids found one of my old CDs, and she was listening to it. We were just talking about them the other day, and I hadn't thought about them in years.
Which CD? Bread and Circus?
Probably. I think I only had two at Dulcina, I think, and
Dulcinea,
Bread and
yeah.
Circus. So Dulcinea,
Bread and
yeah,
Circus is a fantastic album.
Yeah.
I really like that. I love Fear. I think Fear might be their best album. I think start to finish, it's really good.
Yeah.
What else?
I don't know if I remember that one.
I always loved Dulcinea. I don't know how you say it.
Dulcinea or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I always loved
with,
that one.
Something's Always Wrong on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Get a
That's
little
a
watered
great
down
song.
with In Light Syrup and all past. But a couple of the songs, I was listening to like Alexa music or whatever. And all of a sudden I said, play, Toad Wet Sprocket. And the songs were on. I'm like, Alexa, who is this? They're like, it's Toad Wet Sprocket. I'm like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll throw them a couple bucks and pick it up. But mostly, between like Pandora and all that stuff, you kind of create your stations. And I just add all my favorite bands. So it's everything you would expect. Like that's in there, Dave's in there, you too. And it just kind of blends and listen to that all day.
Do you ever get like Alexa, or in my case, I'm listening more like to Spotify, but they're all like recommending shit to you. And I get very angry when they recommend something I haven't heard of, but I like it. Because it makes me angry. Like, fuck you. You don't know me. I want to be like, this algorithm can't figure the complexity of me out. And then they recommend something. I'm like, no, I fucking do like that. I hate you for it,
Yep.
Yeah, you know what I like about the Alexa app? Like, if you say, play, if you mention a song title, you'll get that song, and then you'll get, similar artists and songs. Right. And it's very unlike the early days of Pandora, where I wanted to hear Alexa by Billy Joel. So that was how I started the channel. Like, Alexa, and like the first thing they played was like Elton John or something. I'm like, no, first you play this song, then you can give me all the other shit.
Early Pandora sucked.
It does.
It sucked. Yeah. You put on the U2 station, you'll get one U2 song every 3 hours. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's like, so I actually
never did the Pandora. Never did that.
I just listened to a Smartless episode with Michael Stipe on it.
Oh, cool.
That was really good.
I haven't heard many interviews with Stipe other than like the little short ones on MTV. How'd it go? Was it cool?
Such a fucking down-to-earth, normal dude. Like, he's just gracious and kind and smart, and it was a really good interview. And I really dug him. And he's just like a normal dude now, Like
So what's the word? Any more REM for him, or are they?
No more REM. I mean, still, from what it seems like, is like still super. The guys are like brothers, I mean, like, he's always talking so highly about him. He does have his first solo album coming out. He said it's about halfway done in the interview. He said it's not going to be anything like what you would expect. It's he said, I like electronic music. I'm using a lot of stuff with that. So I'm kind of interested to check that out. And he does a lot of art. Like, him and his boyfriend's a fucking amazing photographer. What the hell is his name? Thomas. I got to check it. But
Tank Engine?
What's that?
Is it Tank Engine, his last name?
Thomas the Tank Engine. I think that is it. Thomas Dozel. Dozol. He's French. And I was checking out actually tonight at dinner. My wife and I were talking about the interview. She listened to it too. And I was looking at some of his artwork, and he does mostly portraits, but it's kind of abstract portraits. Very fucking cool shit.
Interesting. I'll look, check that out.
Yeah, but Michael Stipe said he's doing a lot of sculptures and stuff now. He's doing an art show, his first real one, I think, in Milan, Italy. It's like 3 months that he'll be there. Yeah. So, he's just lives in New York City and just a normal, down-to-earth, cool-ass dude. Like,
that made me think, have you ever been to the Danny Clinch Museum in Asbury?
No.
So Danny Clinch is a fairly local photographer, but he's like huge. He like worked under Annie Leibovitz, who did all those rock photos.
Sure.
Has a billion famous rock photos out there, and mostly just taking pictures of different bands, some bands that I'm sure everybody loves. But yeah, he's got like a gallery in Asbury Park. If you ever get a chance to go there, it's like called a Transparent Gallery, and they sell some stuff, but you can just walk around and look at all his stuff. It's so cool.
I got to check that out. That sounds
Danny
really
Clinch,
awesome.
Clinch. Anybody heading down to Asbury should definitely check that out. I think it's open all year round.
I am the Click Commander. Oh, you said Clint.
Clinch.
Oh,
like,
Clinch.
like the Clinch
your
playoff
buttholes.
Clinch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. How about the Decemberists, Bob? You ever hear them?
I have heard them. I don't know enough of them, but I have heard them.
I recommend The King is Dead. Put that album on. That one was, I think you'll really like that. I think it was Peter Buck produced that album from REM.
Yeah, Peter Buck, he did some guitar work on it too.
Well, if you listen to like the beginning of Calamity song, it is REM. I mean, that is...
There's some kind of video out there of them teaching him his parts because they want him to play on them. And he's like, and so the dude who wrote the songs, Colin Malloy, is like, okay, so this is how it goes. You're going to see I ripped you off like the rest. And because it's true, like a lot of the songs on that album in particular, their Americana kind of vibe, have guitar riffs that are total like Peter Buck style guitar riffs.
Yeah, it's a fantastic album. I mean, they have a lot of really good albums, but for you to start off, I think listen to The King is Dead. I think
I'm
you'll
always
like
looking for new music.
And I also highly recommend Frank Turner.
Yeah, definitely.
Anything Frank Turner. Big fan.
Right.
Frank Turner's more of like I probably would have to classify him as folk punk. If you didn't think that could be a thing, it's his thing, and it's just amazing. So many good albums, but I'll just say throw him into your Spotify or your.
Now, where's he from again?
He's from England.
He's British. Okay.
Yeah, he's British. His newest album that came out, that's the one that Karen and I caught the tour that last summer. That is just a really good album. It's pretty, a lot of heavy stuff on there, but like he like touches on this, like some really good, like throughout the course of his catalog from when he was younger, like up to today, you have a lot of songs about him and his estranged father. So apparently his father was a complete douchebag growing up and they never spoke. And, so he does have some songs about that. Well, his father, transitioned to a female, and he has a song like that's probably why he was such an asshole growing up, but it has a song on there called Miranda, which is what his father goes by now. Well, he is Miranda now. And he wrote this, and it's a fucking fantastic song, and it's just all about like his story and how like just seeing her happy now, completely takes away everything that happened in the past. It's just a fantastic tune. He's a great songwriter, great singer. Definitely check him out.
Sweet.
Definitely.
All right, boys, what do you think? Tomorrow night, Devils Red Wings.
Yeah, looking for a good response. I'm looking for a convincing win. Anything less than a nice convincing win, you're going to still feel like we're going in the wrong direction. This should be a win.
It should. I really feel like you're going to see another game shot, surprise, where Jack puts a team on his shoulders. Because if anybody was pissed off about that Ranger game, it was Jack, or at least realistic about it, saying we're not ready.
Was realistic.
We're not that good team yet, and we need to be that again. So he's definitely capable of carrying this team. I think he's gonna put on a show. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to translate to like 5 points or anything, but he's going to drive the team, and I expect a win. Like I literally expect a win. Not a good game. I expect a win.
Well, I'm going to call it. Vitek Vanacek will get a shutout tomorrow against Detroit.
What a great time for our first shutout of the season. I would love it. And
we will not be seeing Damon Severson on Friday. Damon Severson's out about 6 weeks with an oblique injury. So the hits just keep on coming for the Blue Jackets. Now, I did say that Damon Severson will either be scratched or benched during the game on one of my predictions. Does that count if he's injured?
I think so. Why not?
Well, scratched or benched. We know what your intent was.
Definitely not my intent of him being injured. You're right.
There's two kinds of scratches. There's a healthy scratch and a not healthy scratch. So if he's injured, that's a not healthy scratch.
If you said the word scratch,
I'm going to go
counts.
back and look
Scratch
right
counts.
now and see what I wrote exactly because it is going to be about the wording.
If you said healthy scratch, you're wrong. I think we can agree.
I think
If I'd have
that's
said
fair.
that Luke Hughes would outperform Connor Bedard, then I possibly could have won on the plus minus. We got to think about how we say these things.
Right.
You're right.
You might have to be specific. I
It
was
is-
asking some probing questions about some of the times last time we were saying the Devils will get this many points. I'm like, is it exactly that many or is that the minimum? Because
Right.
it matters.
It does.
You're right. It's all
Well, I
about the
clarified
wording.
last week. At least 5 of the 6. Right.
It matters to the extent.
It's a new
of
game. We're getting there.
everything matters in this game. It really doesn't, but still.
I'm trying to
Until I
see-
start
okay.
winning, and then it does matter.
Right.
I said that my
Hold on,
exact words were Damon Severson will be benched or scratched at some point on Friday. Or scratched or benched at some point on Friday.
I think, it's hard to say exactly what your intention was, but I read it as this. You were saying he ain't going to play, but if he does play, he'll get benched.
Yeah.
And he ain't going to play because of injury. I think that covers it unless you said he's going to be a healthy scratch.
I feel like
You
his
didn't say
full
that.
intention was he was going to be scratched because he was playing like shit.
That
was
was
his
my
full
intention. But
Right.
I didn't
But
say that. I
He
didn't
didn't say it.
I
I think he's getting in the gray area here. I don't think we can deny it. He's a scratch right now. Is he on long
He said
term?
scratch. He
I
didn't say
are.
healthy
Well,
scratch. We
it's
didn't.
6
we should have.
weeks,
If
so
we really
probably-
wanted to rob the points from him, we should have said, "Excuse me, when you say scratch, do you mean
Right.
even a healthy scratch?" And then we could talk about it. But we didn't.
You're
right.
right.
Hey,
And we are going to have to be a little bit more. We'll get, like Bobby said, we'll get more of the hang of it.
Lesson learned, though. I mean, sometimes these gray areas work in your favor.
I actually forgot that I had this one. I said that neither goalie will finish the game on Wednesday in Detroit, and then I just
That
said
sounds
about a
He's
minute
gonna
ago
get a
that
shutout.
Vanacek's
But
going
he
to
could
get
get
a shutout.
injured. He could get a shutout and get injured, and somebody else fill in the last couple seconds.
Okay,
or
so
even
what
the
if
last period.
So if Vanacek doesn't let any goals in and gets injured in the first period,
Yeah, even the
and
first minute.
is that and then Schmidt comes in and lets
Vanacek
6
gets
in.
a shutout.
But Vanacek gets a shutout.
All right, we got
And
to
now
work
the
on our
goalie finishes
definition.
So you're right.
Well, there's no
You-
points on the Vanacek shutout one. I just had the point on both goalies getting.
Yeah, you're not like
scratched.
Nostradamus so much as you're like the Oracle of Delphi, where you're just giving out riddles. It goes either way. We don't know
Yeah,
what it
right.
means. It
I love
depends. Only in retrospect will you know what he meant.
But yeah, their seasons, they have to look at it this way. That their season starts tomorrow. There can be no more mistakes. You
I hope
blew,
they're listening tonight.
Yeah, yeah.
They usually do.
Put that message out
what
there.
they told
Very
me.
clear for them.
There's nothing else for them to do on a Tuesday night but listen to
No.
us. Not to mention that, well, tomorrow probably.
They're in Michigan.
when the show's posted. But yeah, I mean, yeah, what are you going to do in Detroit? You're going to either go buy drugs
You're
or
not going
listen to
outside.
us. You know,
Just
it's
stay in the
fucking
hotel.
cold out. You know, everybody there has got.
So you're
Detroit
saying the
lines.
Devils
You
would
can
have
go
to
to
be
Windsor.
on drugs not to listen to us. They'd have to be literally on drugs to not listen to us.
Yes,
Wow, that's good.
yeah, because we're so fucking good.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, they got to. Tomorrow's the night. They've used up all of their
We're
rough
still
patches
learning.
throughout the course of the year. Like
We're
there's
still
no
gelling as a team. It's like, it's November now. It's
Right.
We
late
said cut
November.
the bullshit 8 games ago.
Yeah, you've played 16 games. There's no more gelling. Like I get the injuries, I totally do, but at the same
It's
time,
basically a fifth of the season, almost a quarter of the
yeah,
season.
every team deals with injuries. It's the really good deep teams are the ones that end up winning despite, and the Devils haven't been able to do that. But does it look like Nico Hischier will be in the lineup tomorrow?
I don't know. I mean, he's practiced on the 4th line. I don't know if they
Jesus.
feel like they're going to start him there to ease him in because that
the hell's
either
that
you're
about?
ready or
What-
not.
what-
This is just
yeah,
practice
you-
lines. But they're still got Mikey up on the 1st line and him down the 4th. I'm
Oh,
assuming that's just easing him in for practice.
But
What?
that doesn't make
What?
any sense.
I don't.
Did he have like a "Don't Hit Me" jersey on for practice?
No, white jersey.
He didn't wear the red one. I would think then that he's not going to play tomorrow. I really would. I would think that he's going to be sitting another game if Lindy Ruff had him practicing on the 4th line, which is, the place where he should never, ever be, even in fucking practice. So,
Is he
Wait a
coming
minute.
back to
I
us without
think-
all his faculties? Is that what you're trying
Lindy?
to tell us? No, Nico. Why is he, was he a fourth liner now? What is this practice on the fourth line?
He
Shit,
actually
I
had
don't even get
a
it.
diaper on too. Guess that hit to the head was pretty serious.
Nico's more. Yeah, he's gonna be a different player. He's gonna have a bigger helmet on.
He would
I
come
feel
out
like-
like
I feel
Larry
like
Onoff in a fucking wheelchair.
Oh my God, Nico! This isn't sled hockey.
All right. Anything else you boys want to chat about this evening before we wrap it up?
No. I think
Okay,
that's
yeah,
enough.
the tweet.
Right?
I did
Probably
see a
does.
tweet.
Yes.
Nico Heischer's
Oh.
not playing tomorrow,
Yeah,
Oh.
okay.
so they were just
All right.
easing him in. So not tomorrow. Team's gonna have to do
That's it.
without him.
So maybe Columbus on Friday.
That looks likely. Yes.
All right. So guys, thank you so much for sticking with us this hour and 10 minutes. We Dan and I will do our best to get on tomorrow after the Red Wing game and do a little show just to talk about that. So hopefully we will be able to do that. If not, hey guys, have a great, safe, happy Thanksgiving, all our listeners. And let us know, Garrett, when you watch those movies. And we would like a like, a 5-star review, rating, a positive review. What else do we need? That's about
Comment?
it, right?
I
Comment?
mean, I'll take
Yeah.
cash. If you
Or
just want
cash.
to send cash, that's
We
fine.
can say we definitely take cash or money order.
Right.
So on that note, for Bobby, Dan, I'm Chris. We are the Uncle Puckers. We will see you when we see you, bitches.
Look is out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Was that your Adam Sandler before? I didn't hear
It was terrible,
that-
right?
is
Yeah.
that-
Over, Johnny.
Just like
It's
my impression.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Gobble, gobble.